Thyroid and Autoimmune Revival. I'm Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health, and I'm a holistic health coach that specializes in thyroid and autoimmune healing using natural health solutions. So today, episode 14, we are going to talk about conscious breathing. So last week, we've been diving into the mental and emotional health. We did emotional health with essential oils with Monica Finazzo, and this week we're going to talk about conscious breathing. All of this is tying into our mental and emotional health. So conscious breathing is different to breath work. A lot of things going on, in the healing aspect with breath work, but not a lot of focus goes on breathing purposely and consciously every single day. Most people think that the way they breathe right now in this moment is the way they should be breathing, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I've written an ebook, Conscious Breathing, and every single person that has purchased that ebook has realized that they were not breathing effectively for their health. And the reason being is a lot of the times, a lot of things affect how we breathe because we don't think about how we breathe every day. It's just something that we do unconsciously every day. We're just breathing. We don't think about it. But doesn't mean that we're doing it in the right way. So breath work is different breathing practices that utilizes different breathing techniques, which you're consciously doing to help control the breath, which does have an impact on your mental and emotional health. So breath work is fantastic. What should happen first before you dive into breath work is learning how to breathe naturally first, because you can't go and do breath work without not breathing properly throughout the day, every day. And we see these people doing breathwork seminars. They go and they're laying down and they get into this like almost meditative hypnosis kind of a state, and someone is guiding them through it. And this can take you deep into, back to traumatic events in your life that you may not be prepared to dive into. And then you go home and you're left by yourself to deal with any emotional trauma that has been brought up. So you should not do these breathwork seminars or any sort of breath work without doing some healing first and without knowing how to breathe properly, getting maximum oxygen into your body, and without doing some kind of mental and emotional work before you go and do this. Because I have heard of people when they come out of these states, they are in a traumatic state themselves. They've gone to places that they haven't been prepared to go to, and the place that they're doing this breath work with, the instructors or whatever you'd like to call them, have not told them what can happen, or they haven't prepared them for what could happen, and then they go home without any sort of support. So it's really important to understand why we do all these things in the way we do it. I know we all want to heal by ourselves a lot of times because we don't want to spend money here and there, but you need sometimes somebody who knows the correct path for you to walk on through your healing journey. And this is one of them, not diving into breath work without doing some other things first. So conscious breathing is being aware of how you breathe all day, every day, to get maximum oxygen into your body and into your cells and to soothe the nervous system. So it's breathing naturally, and it's how we're supposed to breathe. Your nervous system absorbs energy and information from the experiences you have all day, right? And if it's in overdrive, if it's oversensitive or even dulled, it affects how you process that information mentally and emotionally. So this is why the breath is very important, because it soothes the central nervous system, which affects your mental and emotional health. So breathing properly is extremely important to boosting your mental and emotional health. So the way we consciously breathe is in through the nose and out through the nose, not in through the nose and out through the mouth. That's an exercise. That's what you do when you're running or whatever. But breathing all day, every day, when you don't even know it, you should have your mouth closed and just your nose should be doing the work. So when we breathe through the mouth, it is a stress response that has come from being in survival mode over a long period of time, from trauma, stress, emotional stimulation, panic. When we panic, you look at kids, when they're very upset, or when we grieve or when we panic, When people have panic attacks, they start breathing through their mouth because it's a stress response. You start to breathe really shallow. You're only breathing into your chest, not down into your stomach. You're breathing right up in the top of your chest, and you're not getting enough oxygen. And that then affects the brain and the central nervous system and your emotional center of your brain. And so this is why you're having a panic attack. So you might get a trigger, and then you breathe through the mouth, and then boom, it all just stems from there. It's like a chain reaction. So, when you panic, or, you see a little kid who's really upset, or they're screaming, crying, and they're breathing in through the mouth. That is your body's way of dealing with the stress or the threat that has just happened in your life. So mouth breathing causes a variety of health issues. So once you start to have this mouth breathing constantly, you're all day, you've got your mouth open and you're breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth, it causes a variety of health issues. Your respiratory system, it affects your sleep, it affects your brain function, your brain fog, your memory, your concentration. So breathing through the nose actually gives you maximum oxygen, and it allows maximum oxygen saturation into your cells. It helps clear your sinuses. Even though breathing is an automatic function, we do have the ability to control it, right? So the benefits of breathing through the nose purposely, which will lead to unconsciously doing it every day, right? It enhances your lung capacity. It helps boost your immunity because it's affecting your whole body. Your breath affects every single part of your body. It increases your energy because you're getting more oxygen in, right? It humidifies and warms the inhaled air. And going through that nose, it's clearing out your sinuses. When you're breathing, it's your filtration system. You're filtering the air that comes through your body because you've got little hairs in your nose that filter all the dust and all the particles. And this is why your immune system lowers, or you start to get viruses a lot, because that filtration system in your nose is keeping away all these pathogens and viruses and all these things. It improves your circulation and slows your heart rate. We don't want a high resting heart rate. Soothes the nervous system. It activates the vagus nerve, which is your major nerve that runs down through your chest, that is deactivated when we have been living in survival mode or fight or flight, or we've been stressed a lot. So it helps reduce your anxiety. Like I said, purifies the air, reduces risks of allergies, reduces the risk of snoring and sleep apnea because you're breathing properly, you're breathing deep into the cells. It supports the correct formation of your teeth and jaw. And we can store a lot of emotions in certain parts of our body, and the jaw is one of them. The jaw, the hips, the stomach. So it supports our digestive system to get more oxygen into that as well. It helps the digestive system work better. It helps your liver function better, and therefore it improves your metabolism. It increases brain function and reduces brain fog. It improves concentration, focus, memory. So breathing through the nose and learning to do that properly every single day is extremely important to your healing process and your health. So to become aware of how you breathe throughout the day, we're aiming to reset how we breathe and to get it back into autopilot mode. We want to be doing this without thinking about it. But when you start, you're going to have to think about it. You're going to have to relearn how to breathe properly. And in the meantime, you're going to be supporting your mental and emotional health. So this is why it's important to do mental and emotional healing along with the breath work, because if you're going to, like I said, do all these breathing techniques, but you've done no mental and emotional health, it can really trigger some stuff in your body, and it can be too much at once. So we want to do this gently. So learning to breathe properly while you're doing maybe some meditations, or, you're seeing a therapist, whatever it is, you should be doing them hand in hand. So you'll start to notice when you're not breathing correctly. This is what we want. We want you to go, oh, I've got my mouth open. And look, I still do it sometimes myself, but I was a mouth breather. I always breathe through the mouth. And when I started to breathe through the nose, I felt like I was suffocating. That's a stress response. That's your body going, oh my God. Like, so you want to change that. And I'm not going to say to you all day, you can only breathe through your nose. What it is just reminding yourself to start breathing through your nose. So you will start to notice when you're breathing correctly, especially if you are stressed. So, this is the time when you will revert back to mouth breathing or even holding your breath or clenching that jaw. I know I've found myself holding my breath in different situations or whatever it is. And that's because you have all this tension in your body from being stressed. The tension tenses everything, including your respiratory system. So, a really good practice that you can do to learn to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose all day to remind yourself is to set an alarm every 2 hours and just put the name of the alarm something like shut your mouth or close your mouth or how are you breathing, whatever it is that will trigger you to go, right, check where my mouth is right now. So this is going to remind you every couple of hours. So when you're checking in, here are some of the things to be aware of if you need to readjust what you're doing, right? So is your mouth closed? Is your jaw relaxed or clenched? Is your stomach relaxed or clenched? Relax your shoulders, your chest. Are your eyebrows and your forehead like scrunched up? Are they relaxed? Are you breathing through your nose and deep into your diaphragm, into your stomach? Are you sitting upright or are you slouched over? Are you in a room with good airflow? Now, these things that we don't think about at all throughout the day. But I know when I started to learn this myself, I was that tense. I used to wake up clenching my jaw and my fists. I had so much tension in my body from a lifetime of stress that everything was tight. So no wonder I didn't breathe properly, right? So during this practice, you don't want to change the pattern of your breath or how quick or slow that you breathe. You just want to breathe as relax and in sync with your body as you can. So once you have checked in on those points and how to breathe, start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just normal, just breathe normal. Not like you don't have to take deep breaths, you don't have to do any of that. Just close the mouth and start breathing, right? So this will help your respiratory systems start to switch on like, oh, okay, this is the way we're going. We've got a different pathway now and we're going to work with this, right? So I also love, at first, when I first started doing this, I loved adding essential oils to this. So I just put peppermint or some form of airway opening essential oil, which might be eucalyptus, tea tree, lemon, frankincense. But I use the blend Easy Air from doTERRA. Anything that you think is going to open up your airways, put them in the palm of your hand. Just drop one in the palm of your hand and just inhale in through the nose and out through the nose, just breathing. And that's going to help support not only your physical health, your respiratory system, but your emotional health. Because as we talked about last week, essential oils support the emotional process. So when you are using an essential oil to help you focus and breathe better, it's gonna activate that a lot quicker than if you didn't use it. So essential oils are a great facilitator for a lot of these things. So before you do all that, just remember, keep relaxed and check in on your body. Now this is every 2 hours, right? You want to do this every 2 hours. Then you'll just start to do it when you're not even thinking about it. You'll be sitting there and you'll be like, oh, I've got my mouth open, or oh, I've got my fists clenched, or my shoulders. Like some people sit with their shoulders scrunched up to their neck because this is all stress, right? We hold it in our body. This is the physical response from an emotional or mental trauma that we've got, right? This is a physical response from stress, the tension in our body. So we want to relax everything in order to breathe properly. So grounding is a great way to connect our mind and body to be in the present moment. When we ground in with our body, then it's a lot easier to start doing these practices. So there's many ways to ground yourself. The best place to ground is outside, sitting on the natural earth, no shoes, no blankets, nothing under you, just you connecting to the earth. I mean, you can have clothes on, right? But if you don't, it's none of my business, but go for it. This is a physical form of grounding and has many health benefits, right? So, as I've spoken about before, and I will do a podcast on grounding and earthing because it's really important. But what it does, the earth has natural electric charges that stabilize your body at a deep level, and like it helps reduce pain, inflammation, stress. It improves your blood flow, energy, sleep. Like connection to the earth is so important. So when you ground in, this is helping you connect not only to the earth but to yourself. Being outside in the sun, you can't get better than that. It's beneficial to your production of cortisol, serotonin, melatonin, all of those hormones that help your body function on a daily basis. All of these things help reduce stress and improve energy and sleep, right? If you can't be outside, that's okay. Sit somewhere really comfy. If you can sit near a window with the sun coming in or an open window with the air coming in. I mean, I know it snows in some places or whatever, but please don't be scared of the cold. I'm not saying snow, but like if I'm in Australia and I go out in the winter to ground sometimes, like it's not that cold here. So close your eyes, listen to the sounds around you, and pay close attention to the loudest sounds or the closest sounds to you that you can hear, and gradually turn your awareness to the sounds that are further away. Place both hands over your heart, or one over your heart and one over your upper stomach. When we connect to our heart, we get more energy. It's a vibrational, energetic, really powerful thing to do to connect to your body. The palms of our hands have powerful like energy points, and we receive energy in through the left palm and give energy out through the right. So connecting to our heart is one of the highest frequencies and helps us center our energy. So you can also place your palms together in front of you in the prayer position. So this brings an awareness of yourself and the attention of the two distinct halves of your body's meeting, right? So when you put your hands in prayer position, this is why people that meditate do that, or yoga or whatever, because you're bringing the two halves of your body together in meeting energetically. So it influences energy in the body and gestures gratitude that you're thankful that you're still alive. You're thankful you're still going. Be grateful for every single day. It connects the right side with the left, the physical body with the energetic body, right? The giving, the receiving, the masculine aspect of you with the feminine and the right brain and the left brain. So it also brings balance to the nervous system, which reduces stress and anxious feelings. So just sit and be still for a minute to calm your energy, and then you can start your breathing exercises, right? So once you start your breathing exercises, focusing on your breath is a great way to ground. So this connection to breath, grounding in, is super important, right? To getting all the hormones balancing and everything. Healing isn't just about eating the right nutrition, taking your medication, and going to the gym. That's not health. That's part of it, right? Healing is being able to learn as much about yourself as possible. And if you're not learning that you're not breathing properly, well, you're not going to get there. If you're not learning that you need to ground, you need to get outside, you need to connect to the earth that brought you here. Like, I know you were brought by your mum, but the earth is a very powerful thing, and we have blocked ourselves so much for it. So if you're doing this breathing and you're wandering off and you're not thinking about the breath, that's okay. Just once you notice it, redirect your mind back to the breath. So these are some of the breathing exercises that I do to get you to focus on breathing into the diaphragm and not your upper chest. They help slow down your breathing and intentionally activate your breath. So we're conditioned to hold our tummy in all day to appear thinner, right? Especially us ladies. We've had babies or whatever, and we're holding our tummy in because we want to look thinner. But this affects how we breathe deeply into our stomach area, right? So when you're doing these breathing exercises, let it all hang out. Don't worry about it. No one's watching. No one cares. They should love you anyway, however you are, whoever it is that you're worried about, while you're holding your stomach in. But here are like 3 simple techniques that I like to use. So the belly breathing, sit comfortably in a chair, with your feet on the ground and your back upright, mouth closed. It can be easy if you lay flat on your back too. Like laying on your back's fine. Either way, whatever makes you comfortable, do either of them. Relax your belly. No sucking in those stomach muscles, and just constantly check in. Am I relaxed? Am I tense? Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the face, forehead, eyebrows, everything. Relax the tongue. So breathe in slowly through your nose. So it should be, and your shoulders should barely move, right? What should be moving is your tummy when this happens. You should, so, and this is why it's really good to put one hand on, like the left hand on your chest and the right hand on your belly, because you want to see the right hand moving more, right? So you're going to breathe slowly through your nose and deep into your belly. And then you're going to see your belly rise while your chest barely moves. If your chest is moving and you're bringing your shoulders up, leave the shoulders down, relax the shoulders. They shouldn't be coming up with you. Just your tummy should be moving. So then after you've taken the deep breath in through your nose, just breathe out through the nose and relax everything. So to begin with, just do this 4 times. And as you get better at it, build it up 12 times. It may feel suffocating to you, but just remember, one step at a time, one breath at a time. Just take your time. This is practice. And this is not, you're not going to do this once, right? I don't want to see you go out into your back garden, you do this once and you're like, right, I should be good now. This is what you do all the time. You need to be doing this forever. Healing practices are forever. They are not a short-term practice. They're not a short-term thing. I still do breathing exercises. I do breathe through my nose now. I still check in if my mouth's open. I still check in with my breath. I'm always telling people, close your mouth for breathing purposes, of course. So alternate nostril breathing. Close your mouth, close your eyes. Inhale and exhale to begin. So close your right nostril with your thumb and take a long, deep inhale through your left nostril. Now, before you breathe out, close your left nostril with your second finger. Open your right nostril and exhale. Inhale through your right nostril. Close off your right nostril with your thumb. Open your left nostril and exhale. Inhale through your left nostril. So try and do 12 rounds of this, or build up at it. If you do 2 rounds, that's fine. 4 rounds, whatever. But just practice closing off one nostril, breathing in, then closing off the other nostril, breathe out. And it's that cycle. That's alternate nostril breathing. Box breathing is what I like. So you close your mouth, sit up upright in a chair. I have done a video of this on my TikTok. Inhale through your nose for the count of 4. Hold your breath for the count of 4. And exhale through your nose for the count of 4. And if you want to add a little something to this, like as you're exhaling, if you want to massage that vagus nerve that I told you about that runs down your chest, if you want to activate that a little bit more, make a humming sound as you exhale, because humming also massages the vagus nerve. So when you exhale, so the sound should be in the back of your throat and into your chest. Make sure you're breathing out through the nose as you do this. Yoga will teach you to breathe out through the mouth as you do this, and that's fine too. But this is just what I like to add, just to activate that vagus nerve a little bit more. So that will help, that helps reduce your blood pressure, supports the immune system, inflammation response in the body. So then as you've exhaled for 4, you're going to hold for 4 again, and then you're going to breathe in for 4. So it's like a box. So you go breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, inhale. So it's like a box. So all of these things, practices, are going to help you learn to breathe through the nose. So just pick one to start with, which I would say the belly breathing. Start with that one. That's a simple technique. You're just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And this is just getting your brain to go, oh, this is what we do now. This is getting your body and your automatic response in your body to go, oh, that's right. Because your body wants to breathe that way, but your stress response wants you to breathe through your mouth. So retraining your body and your brain and your responses is what this is about. So breath work is very different. It's not teaching you how to breathe, because sometimes, you're in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breath work, different techniques, different ways of dealing with things. And it is great. I'm not saying don't do breath work. But you should be doing this first. These are things you should do first before you dive into breath work. And this is why I say, like, sometimes healing practices, even though they're natural or whatever, sometimes you need to understand what comes first. The healing, like, people usually focus on physical healing first, right? We're doing all that physical stuff. That's because it's easier. The better your physical health is, the easier it is, the more comfortable it is, the healthier you are to do anything else, right? This is why I started my podcast episodes with the physical healing, and we've moved through to the mental and emotional stuff, because it's easier for you to start with the physical stuff, and it's much harder to start going on with the mental and emotional stuff. Okay, so and it all ties together. Your physical health, if your physical health is a lot better, if you're eating better, if you're doing all the right things for your body physically, it's going to be easier to heal mentally and emotionally. But if you have physical health problems, it's going to affect your mental and emotional health. So that's why physical health is easier to start with, and it's more beneficial. The reason I've set this podcast up the way I have is going through the processes to show you steps that you can take through your healing process. And this is why I haven't gone and shown you some real intricate different ways of healing that some people jump straight to because they've seen it on Facebook, they've seen it on TikTok, one of their friends does it. Oh, my friend goes to breath work. Maybe that friend's done a lot more healing than you have. Or maybe that friend is not doing it the right way. Just because your friend's doing it, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. So get somebody who knows what process to help you get through. When I write a program for somebody, it's always there's physical stuff, and there is some mental and emotional at first, but the first program I write them isn't heavy on the mental and emotional. There's a little bit in there, but it's more on the physical healing because it's just easier. And when they start to feel a bit better because they're eating better, or they're doing a few good practices that have helped activate their health a little bit more, then it's easier to start going that you want to do more healing and you want to do more practices, and you're more open, like you're starting to feel better, your energy's better, your vibration's better. So it's easier to start adding in other practices. And if they're mental and emotional, they're going to be difficult. So never go to somebody who just focuses on the one aspect of healing. Never go to somebody who's just going to throw supplements and a diet at you. You're not going to get to where you need to go. That's why I'm giving you all of this important information on physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual health, connection to the self. It's really important. If you are not going to do all of them, you're only going to get yourself just feeling better, not healed. We're all always healing. We're always going through something. Our bodies age, different things happen in our bodies, different stresses come into our life with us without even knowing or wanting it, or whatever it is. So every day you need to be working on it. Like I'd been working on my healing for like, I don't know, how old's my son? My son's 13 and he was about 2 when I started to dive into doing all this stuff, you know? So I have constantly been in a state of healing. And in that time, I've had a marriage breakdown. I've had different things happen. People in my life have, passed away, or things have happened to them, or there's been different stresses in my life. And I now know how to manage them better than what I would have 15, 20 years ago. I know how to dive into some different practices, use my essential oils. My support system, my support network is a lot better than what it was years ago because I choose the right people. I know who to be around, and people who cheer me on, people who support me, people who I've got a lot of friends in the healing space, and I can go to them like, hey, I'm struggling with this area. It's okay. Like, I've got a lot of tools up my sleeve, but you always need somebody else's advice. You always need somebody else's help because we don't see everything about ourselves. We don't see everything that's going on in our life. Or, I might react, say, to something, a person or a situation, and somebody else can look at it in a very different way and go, well, I don't see it like that. That person wasn't meaning that. Interpretations are different, perceptions are different for people. So your interpretation and perception of what's going on in your health, in your body, is also very different. And if you are not an expert in that area, you're just, muddling your way through this healing process, because I know you can do it, but there is nothing wrong with getting someone to help you. But get somebody who does all areas. Get somebody who's going to give you everything. Like, acupuncture isn't going to heal you. It's a facilitator. It's going to help a certain area of your body. Reiki, same thing. Reflexology, same thing. Massage, same thing. They're all great aspects to add to your healing, but healing comes from you straight away, right? Everything that you do every day. If you're not going to get an expert that teaches you how to change some things that you do every day, because let's face it, what you're doing every day is why you're not well. How you react to things, what your body's doing, your nervous system, all of that. This is why you're not well. So get somebody who can show you the process of when you get up in the morning, this is what you do. When you have a stressful situation, here's a tool, here's a practice, here's a whatever it is. You want somebody to teach you how to do things differently that aren't going to cause you to be more stressed, or, like people who are stressed, who are pumping down coffee or alcohol, or, that's not getting them anywhere. Some of these things that we are doing every day are why we are struggling. And sometimes you just need somebody to point that out. Hey, did you know you didn't breathe properly? I can see you breathing through your mouth sitting here right now. I can see your shoulders scrunched up, all tense. When you go to somebody who works with people every day on this, they can look at your body and, well, they should look at you, how you're sitting there, how, your responses to things, the way you speak about things. Like, I've had clients say to me, look, there's nothing wrong with my mental and emotional health. It's all the physical. And I'm like, you saying that is a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can see, no, I just want to, because they just want to focus on the physical. They just want to eat right and exercise and think that that's going to change their body or the way they look. But there's a reason behind that. So all of this ties in, all of this mental and emotional health, the breathing, the essential oils are all fantastic tools for you to use every single day. And like I said, for the rest of your life. Lifestyle changes for the rest of your life. And you should be doing one at a time. Don't go out and go, well, I'm going to start breath work this week and then next week. And then, you're just constantly adding something. It's too much. Your body doesn't want to do that. When you learn to breathe properly, then add something. But you learning to breathe properly is not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a process over a long period of time. And you checking in with yourself is going to be a process over a long period of time. So start to become aware that this is a process and this is a lifestyle choice for you, not you just go into get a pill or a supplement or a new diet, whatever it is that you think that you can just quickly do. It's not the way it works. Society has completely changed how we live. We don't live like we did 100, 200 years ago. We are completely different. We are not as physical as we were. There's a lot more going on. We are overstimulated, fake lights everywhere. We don't get out in the sun. Everyone's like, hide from the sun. Like, we don't get outdoors as much. This has all impacted our healing. So it's about retraining ourselves to live the way we should. Love to work with you because this is what I do. I love this job. I love helping people. I am extremely intuitive when it comes to mental and emotional health. I've done trauma. I've got certificates. I know how to work with people with trauma. I know how to work with people with thyroid, autoimmune, but it's not just that. Anything that you want help with in your health, anything. Like, I know you might be going and getting your heart checked by the doctor, but there's a reason your heart is not functioning properly, and it means you're not healthy enough. So, and I don't want to hear it's genetic, right? Because that's just a bullshit excuse to not do what you need to do. You might have a genetic predisposition to something, but your environment has triggered it. So, if you've got something going on with your heart or your digestive system, whatever it is, doesn't hurt you to do all the right things. Check in with your mental health, check in with your emotional health. Like, all of those things are important. So anything you've got going on in your body, to get somebody to help teach you how to be healthier is really important. And I love working with people doing that. It's where I excel. Like I said, I can look at you sometimes and tell you what's going on in your body. I can just ask certain questions that are going to draw out what's going on with you or what has gone on with you in the past. So it's really, really important to get somebody who understands what process you need to take. Make sure you follow this podcast, share it with people that need this, that need the healing. We want to get this information out to as many people as we can. Not everybody's going to listen to it or want to do what they need to do for their health, but there might be something in this podcast that triggers somebody to go, you know what? I'm not doing the right things for my health. And Naomi's right. And oh my God, I didn't know that this happens when you do this. So share it with people and follow so you get all my latest episodes. And if you need that help and you want somebody to kickstart your healing process in a very simple way that's not going to overwhelm you, go to the link in my bio and let's work together.